You are going over it again. The list. The things you must not lose. You've been running it from the top, checking each item is still there, still held, still safe in the only storage you have, which is the one that switches off the moment you succeed at falling asleep. So some part of you keeps the switch open, keeps rehearsing, checking that nothing has fallen out. You can leave it alone for a bit. The list will wait. This story is going somewhere. The holding is not necessary. Nothing happens in it that anyone has to worry about. Nobody has to stay awake for it, and it is completely fine. In fact, it is the whole idea, to fall asleep somewhere in the middle. If these nights help, you are welcome to subscribe, perhaps tomorrow when you are awake. For now, there is nothing you need to do. But here is a different kind of keeping. You come up the stairs to the top floor, late on a winter evening. The building is cold and dark below, the lights off in the offices, the corridors silent and smelling of floor wax and old carpet. Your footsteps on the stairs are soft, dampened by the carpet runner, but at the top, under the slope of the roof, there is one room that stays warm. You push the door open with your shoulder. The air inside smells of paper and warm dust, and the particular scent of old radiator heat that has been running all day, dry and comforting, like the smell of an iron that has been on for a long time. You've been allowed to sit here on nights like this for years. You settle into the deep armchair by the radiator. It is a wide chair, upholstered in a fabric that is rough and soft at the same time, with arms worn smooth where hands have rested, and it takes your weight without complaint. There is a blanket on the back, wool and heavy, gray and soft with age, folded in thirds. You pull it over your lap. It settles across you, and the warmth that was stored in the wool begins to get in against the chill you carried up the stairs. The blanket is thick enough that you can feel its weight as well as its heat, pressing gently against your legs, holding them still. Across from you, the long oak table sits under a green-shaded lamp. The lamp is lit. It casts a pool of light on the blotter, the inkwell, the brass label frames stacked in a small pile to the left. The blotter is stained with years of ink, a map of blue-black islands and peninsulas faded at the edges. The inkwell is glass, and you can see the level of the ink inside, dark and still. The rest of the room is shelves, tall wooden shelves running the length of the walls, filled with boxes and bound ledgers. The wood is dark with age, almost black in the areas where the lamplight does not reach. The ledgers are bound in cloth, different colors faded to brown and green and gray, some with gold lettering on the spines that catches the light when you move your head. To your left, a window runs with cold. You can feel the small, hard cold coming off the glass, even from where you sit, but the big, soft warmth of the room holds it back. Outside, the night is still and dark, a thin moon low over the roofs. The glass is fogged slightly at the edges where the warm air meets the cold. Inside, the radiator ticks now and then, a metallic click, and the sound of water moving through pipes, settling and contracting, adjusting to the temperature. You are not here to do anything. You are only here to sit and to watch and to let the evening go past. After a time, you hear the trolley. It is a metal cart with rubber wheels, and the old archivist pushes it along the corridor outside. The wheels make a soft rumble on the floorboards, a sound that grows and then stops at the doorway. He is a man with gray hair and a cardigan that has pockets full of pens, the pockets bulging slightly. He has been doing this for 30 years. He brings the trolley to the doorway and stops. He does not greet you. He knows you are allowed to be here, and he has his own work to do. And the work is what matters. He lifts the first box from the trolley. It is a cardboard box, the kind with a lid that fits over the top like a sleeve. There is a number on the side, written in black marker, and a date. He carries it to the table and sets it down with a small sound of cardboard meeting wood. The lid comes off with a soft slide of cardboard against cardboard. Inside are papers, forms probably, or receipts, or records of inventory, or maintenance, or something administrative and dull. Nothing in this room is interesting. That is the point. The boxes do not contain secrets or treasures. They contain things that needed to be kept so that someone else could stop thinking about them. He takes the first paper from the box. He opens the ledger, which is already marked with today's date in his careful handwriting. The pages are thick and cream-colored, slightly textured like good watercolor paper. He dips the pen in the inkwell. The nib is metal, and it catches the lamplight for a moment before he touches it to the page. He writes. The scratch of the nib is the only sound. It is a small sound, regular and unhurried. He writes the date, the reference number, the brief description in his small, precise hand. He does not rush. He never rushes. His hand moves across the page, and the blue-black ink flows from the nib, and the words appear there, fixed already in a way that thoughts are not fixed. When he finishes the line, he sets the pen down in the holder He waits for the ink to dry. He does not blow on it. He simply waits, his hands folded, patient. Then he takes the blotter, a heavy sheet of felted paper, and rocks it once across the wet ink. Just once. The blotter lifts, and the words are fixed there, dried, captured. They do not need him to hold them in his mind anymore. They are kept by the paper, by the ink, by the ledger, by the shelf they will sit on. He puts the paper back in the box. He puts the lid back on. The cardboard slides and stops. He takes a label from the pile and writes on it with a pencil, the same small hand. He licks the back of the label, though they are self-adhesive now, out of habit, and presses it onto the end of the box. The box is closed. The box is labeled. The thing inside it is kept. He carries the box to the shelves. There is a ladder on a rail that runs along the front of the shelves, and he pushes it along with a soft squeak of metal wheels until it stops at the right section. He climbs up 3 steps. The ladder holds him. It creaks slightly under his weight, a wooden sound. He slides the box onto the shelf. It fits there, in the row of identical boxes, in the dark between the ledger volumes. He climbs down. The ladder stays where he left it. He pushes the trolley closer. He takes the next box. This is how the evening goes, one thing at a time. The lid slides off. He takes out the papers. He opens the ledger to the right page. He dips the pen. The nib scratches against the paper. He writes the date. He writes the number. He writes the description. He sets the pen down. He waits. The ink dries. The blotter rocks once across the page. The paper goes back in the box. The lid slides on. The label is written, wicked, pressed onto the cardboard. The box is lifted, carried to the shelves, slid into place beside the others. You watch this happen. The rhythm of it is slow and steady. The archivist does not look at you. He is not performing this for you. He is simply doing his job, which is to make sure that things are kept without anyone having to remember them. He enters the numbers, the dates, the brief descriptions, and then the knowledge leaves him. It is not his to carry. It is written down. It is shelved. It is kept without being held. The wool blanket has been on this chair for years. You can tell by the way it smells, which is not the smell of laundry, but the smell of wool that has lived in a warm room, taken on the dry paper scent of the archives, the faint metallic note of radiator heat stored in fiber. It is heavy enough that you stop feeling the need to hold your legs still. They simply rest under the weight of it. You are allowed to be here because nobody needs to disallow you. The permission is negative space. It is the absence of a door being closed, the absence of a question being asked, the absence of anyone remembering to wonder if you should still be here after all this time. You pull the blanket higher, it slides up your chest, and the warmth that was trapped between the folds spreads against you. The fabric is slightly rough against your hands. You could take your hands out from under the blanket and let them rest on top, and the air of the room would be warm enough. But you do not. You leave them under. The warmth holds them. Across from you, the archivist opens another box. The cardboard lid makes its soft sound. He takes out the first paper, and you do not try to read it. You do not need to know what it says. Nobody needs to know what it says. That is why it is here. The pen scratches. The archivist waits for the ink to dry. His hands are folded. You cannot see his face from where you sit. Only his shoulder, his arm, the movement of his wrist. He is not young. The skin of his hands is mapped with the work of years. And he does not hurry because he has learned that hurrying does not help. The blotter rocks once across the page. The sound is small and definite. It marks the end of one thing and the beginning of the next. But the next is the same. Another paper, another line in the ledger, another box to be shelved. The rhythm is not exciting. That is what makes it possible to rest inside it. Your shoulders have dropped. You did not drop them. They simply went down, released from the work of holding you upright against the cold and the stairs and the day. The chair back supports you. You do not have to support yourself. This is a thing chairs can learn if they are old enough and used enough. They learn the shape of holding. The radiator ticks. It is a sound that means the heat is working, that water is moving through pipes, that the building is alive in its mechanical way, keeping the room warm without needing to be thanked. You do not need to thank it. You do not need to do anything. The room is quiet. The radiator ticks. The lamplight stays steady on the table, and the shelves recede into shadow. You can see the archivist's hand moving as he writes, the tendons in his wrist shifting under the skin, the way he holds his fingers slightly curled when he is not writing. He dips the pen again. The ink is dark blue, almost black. He writes another line. The scratch of the nib is soft. He blots it. The blotter makes a soft thump as it touches the page. He closes the ledger for a moment and opens it again at a new page, the pages making a soft sound like wings folding. You are sinking into the chair. The wool blanket is heavy across your legs, pressing you down gently. The warmth of the room has gotten into your bones, or you have stopped holding yourself so tightly against the cold. The armchair is old, and it knows how to hold a person. You do not have to hold yourself. The chair does it. The back of the chair supports your back. The arms support your arms. The seat holds your weight. You are sinking further into the chair, not falling, sinking the way a stone sinks into mud, slowly, with the mud holding it all the way down. The wool blanket has creases in it from being folded. You can feel one of them against your shoulder, a line of slightly thicker fabric, and you do not move to adjust it. It is not uncomfortable. It is simply there, a small fact of texture, and you are allowed to feel it without doing anything about it. The blotter's small sound comes to you from a little distance, across the pool of lamplight, across the space between his work and your rest. It is a companionable sound. It means somebody is minding the papers, the numbers, the proper place of things. Nobody is minding you. You are not his responsibility. You are simply here, and he is simply here, and the room holds you both without favor. The archivist takes another box from the trolley. This one is heavier. He sets it down with a small grunt, not of complaint, just of acknowledgement. The lid comes off. More papers. He takes the first one. He enters it in the ledger. The pen scratches. The ink dries slowly. The blotter rocks once. The paper is returned. The box is closed. The label is applied. The box is shelved. The ladder squeaks along the rail. He climbs up, slides the box onto a shelf that you cannot see from where you sit, climbs down. He pushes the ladder to the next spot. He opens another box. The pen scratches again. The sound is small and regular. It does not demand attention. It is simply there, like the ticking of the radiator. It is one of the small sounds this room makes at night, and it asks nothing of anybody. The blanket settles a little further over your legs. The archivist takes another paper. He writes the date. He writes the reference number. He sets the pen down. He waits. The ink gries in the air. He picks up the blotter. He rocks it once across the page. The paper goes back. The lid goes on. The box is carried to the shelf. The ladder moves. The box is slid into place. He takes another box. This one is lighter. It slides easily onto the shelf. He takes another. This one sticks slightly, the cardboard catching on the wood, and he has to push it firmly. It slides in. He climbs down. He pushes the ladder further along the rail. The wheels squeak. You do not have to check anything. You do not have to hold the list open in your mind. The things on your list, if they were here, would be written down already, entered in the book, blotted, boxed, shelved. They would be kept. You would not need to be the storage. The archivist does not know what is in the boxes he shelves. He does not need to know. He knows only that they are filed, that the numbers match, that the system holds them. The system holds them. The building holds them. He takes another box. The lid slides. The papers rustle slightly, a dry sound like leaves. The pen scratches. The blotter thumps softly. The ladder squeaks. The box slides onto wood. You are very heavy now. The chair has you. The blanket has you. The warmth has you. You are not holding the list now. You do not need to check it. In this room, nothing is remembered by anybody, and everything is kept perfectly. The archivist does not carry the contents of the boxes in his mind. He carries the pen, the blotter, the ladder. He knows the system. But the knowledge of what is inside, that is all on paper, all shelved, all held by the building itself. He will close the ledger when he is done. He will turn the lamp down. He will go home to his own bed, and he will sleep. And every single thing he has written down will still be exactly where he left it. None of it will have slipped out. None of it needs a mind held open underneath it all night. The paper holds the ink. The ink holds the words. The box holds the paper. The shelf holds the box. The building holds the shelf. You do not have to be the only copy of anything. The archivist writes another line. The scratch of the nib is very soft now, or your hearing has settled into the quiet of the room. He sets the pen down. He picks up the blotter. He rocks it once across the page. The sound is like a small footstep in snow, a sound that happens somewhere else, somewhere you do not need to follow. The room is warm. The blanket is heavy. The chair holds you. The archivist closes the ledger. It makes a soft thump of pages settling against each other, a thick sound of paper weight. He sits for a moment with his hands folded. You cannot see this. You do not need to see this. You only need to know that someone is keeping things in their proper place, that the system still works, that everything is held. He caps the inkwell. The small glass stopper goes back in. A quiet sound, glass against glass. Then stillness. He stands up. He stretches his arms once, then drops them. You feel this in your own shoulders, the letting go, the not holding anymore. He walks to the lamp. His steps are slow on the floorboards, each one a small distance from the last. He turns the brass switch. The light dims to a small orange glow, then goes out. The room is dark now. The window is a faint gray square, lighter than the walls. The shelves are darker shadows in the dark. You cannot see them. You do not need to see them. They are still there. Everything is still there. The archivist moves carefully in the darkness he knows well. He has walked this room many times. He does not hurry. He pushes the trolley to the door. The wheels rumble on the floorboards. A low sound, a sound that moves away from you. The door opens, letting in a slice of cold air from the corridor, then closes. With a soft click, you are alone in the warm dark. But alone is not the right word. The chair holds you. The blanket holds the warmth. The warmth holds you. The building holds the room. The night holds the building. Everything is kept. Everything is where it belongs. You do not have to remember. You do not have to check. You do not have to hold the edges of anything. The list is not here. The list is kept elsewhere. By the paper, by the ink, by the system that does not sleep. But you can sleep. The radiator ticks. You do not need to listen for it. It simply ticks. A small sound in the warm dark, meaning heat, meaning held, meaning you do not have to do anything. The dark is warm. The chair is deep. Your body is heavy. Heavy as wool. Heavy as paper in a closed ledger. Heavy as a building that has stood for years. You are sinking, not falling, sinking into the chair, into the warmth, into the dark. The night is long, long enough for everything. You can sleep now. sleep, the dark, the warmth, held, kept. You can, the chair, everything.